Finding a job amid economic uncertainties and layoffs is tough at any age. So, Yan, what's the job market looking like in 2025, especially if you're just starting out?
I'm very pragmatic about it. I think it will be challenging in 2025, but I think it's more important what we do with ourselves to face those challenges. So I would definitely advise any young individual to plan their careers, to speak to their mentors, and to also keep an eye on the trends that are coming so that they can make better decisions about their careers. Organizations are constantly going to be reshuffling and reorganizing. While organizations are retrenching, they are also hiring. So there will be business units that are slowly going to mature and possibly downsize. There are different divisions that will still be looking for growth and are still looking for talent and skills that are in demand right now.
So for 2025, I think the trends will be AI integration, digital transformation, and sustainable development. So these three key pillars will probably help us to get through 2025 with lesser challenges and maybe some silver linings for the job seekers to look forward to. So I guess for Singapore, we are still financial services hub within Asia Pacific. I think we still have a strong government, stable economy and environment for foreign investments. So that could help us to steer clear in this uncertainty and hopefully still be able to provide employment for our new job seekers in the market.
Which industries do you both think will see a rise in hiring demand and conversely which will not?
I would foresee financial services, technology in terms of AI integration, digital transformation, healthcare, sustainable green energy as well.
In markets that are very mature, there will still be hotspots. And in growth markets, there will also be cold spots. So I think it's down to the individual to do what they will deem more suitable for themselves. Say AI integration and transformation, for example. That could be an HR thing, for example. So it's not an industry per se, it's a specialization. Renewables are very exciting, sustainability is very exciting, cloud security is very exciting, cyber security is definitely here to stay. So those are some of the other hotspots that I can see.
So when we talk about particularly younger workers who may not have that much experience in the workforce or who are looking for their first jobs, how do they ensure that they remain employable?
Well, they're just starting out. I think it's really good for them to get as much experience as possible. The tangible skills got them in, but it is the soft skills that help them thrive. Soft skills, however, are very hard to sell because they have to be demonstrated on the job. We're talking about things like traits, like initiative. If I claim to be a great communicator, but then you have to see it in action to validate that I'm a great communicator. And then if that's coupled together with multiple skill sets, it creates this competency that makes me a valuable member of the team, for instance.
Gavin, how do younger workers approach especially tech and AI like you mentioned?
I think it would be good for them to equip themselves with the latest trend in technology, be passionate about what they learn as well, keep updated of the trends in order to make themselves relevant in the current economy. I think they need to have realistic expectations of the job market as well, because they could be open to maybe part-time gigs or temp jobs, contract roles besides the usual permanent employment, or even internships sometimes. So this will get them through the door for their first employment. From there, they get exposure experience before they move on to further up the career progression ladder.
Well, a big question on many people's minds is, should workers be expecting pay rises next year?
It depends on the industry, it depends on the organization, right? It depends on whether or not they're doing well. I think there's an upward trend, obviously. We had some statistics that's come out for fresh graduate employment, and the numbers are going up. But at the same time, I think fresh graduates are also finding it hard to land dream jobs, right? So I think Gavin is right, and they have to set their expectations. But I think there are other organizations that are also adjusting for inflation.
Gavin, given the economic outlook, what will bonuses look like in 2025 compared to this year, for example?
I think bonuses for 2025 will be a little muted compared to this year. It will be kind of parallel in comparison, but depending on how the market turns around in the next couple of months, 6 to 12 months period of time. So I'm saying that it's going to be rather similar to 2024. And if I were to put a number to it, I would say in an average of 2 months. This is across all industries and across all levels. There could be some which pay higher and some lower. I'm just guessing this will be a similar bonus scheme for next year as well.
Gavin, earlier you said that younger workers should be more realistic. Does that imply that they have been perhaps unrealistic in their searches so far, or their expectations?
Yeah, because I guess the younger generations, they want everything. They want to have work-life balance, they want to have career progression, they want to have good salary, they want hybrid working environment. I guess it's really to think through, know what you really want to achieve in your career, and you need to compromise on some of these factors. I think they just need to be a bit more realistic because they will probably price themselves out of the market if they have too unrealistic high expectations on salary.
Is that your experience as well, especially with younger workers?
I don't want to stereotype the younger worker. Every time I think that, oh gosh, they're so entitled, but actually they're not. They're really hardworking, and I think because they're smarter than we ever were, I feel like they have access to a lot of information, so they're very aware. And they're also aware because they've seen our older generations work themselves to the bone and not be able to enjoy life. So I don't feel it's wrong, but there's certain expectations that is probably generational. But I understand where they're coming from. You know, if they want to take a gap year, there's nothing wrong with that. If they want to self-actualize, if they want to take on gig work and travel at the same time, I think that's great.
What advice would you give job seekers who are just entering the job market, and also people who perhaps have been laid off? And these are two different things.
Yeah. I think if you're just entering the job market, hopefully you've done enough internship experience and relevant coursework to give you that leverage. And then based on that, network. If you're in uni or you're in tertiary education right now, take the opportunity to enter competitions, you can intern and you can volunteer, all of which would generate transferable skills, hone the skills you already have, and build and nurture those networks.
I would probably advise those who have been made redundant, they could actually re-skill themselves and to maybe upgrade some of their skills, their technical experience, and really get out into the networking events. And maybe they could also be able to keep an open mind to different jobs with maybe lower salary, so that they could actually reconnect to the market and get some experience that could help them to propel in the next role and further their career from there.
Lastly, when we spoke about employability, right, could you give us 2-3 tips to better your employability?
I think individuals should try to just be career agile. First and foremost, when I ask someone, so what's next for you? Do you have any ideas? The response is usually, I don't know, I'm not sure. You tell me, what should I do? And so then they relinquish the ownership of their career to someone else. But we cannot rely on organizations to take control over an individual's career, isn't it? We have to tell the individual that they are in charge, they're the captain of their ship. So they have to have a strategy, and based on that strategy, they will understand where the gaps are in terms of their skill sets or experiences, and then they can make very tangible plans to kind of narrow those gaps. So that's one way to stay relevant.